everyone! What is good? Welcome back to the channel. This is Silver Hyena, and for today's video, I wanted to go over how to turn one of these, an ordinary handkerchief, into one of these. Okay, not exactly one of these, but you know where I'm going. The whole face mask thing, it's become not only a fashion statement from what I've seen, it's also becoming more and more necessary to protect others from what you might have. Now then, this won't do much to protect you or others from what I've been referring to as the Great Chaos. However, it might help out with the social distancing thing. Unless, of course, you run into a horror fan, in which case that plan will backfire completely. However, I would like to share with you how to turn one of these into a face mask. And I got these. These are fabric markers. I mean, I'm not just gonna go around with something super plain over my face. I mean, I'm an artist. I have to be creative. So, all you need, if you just want the basic face mask, all you need is any old handkerchief. Okay, probably not any old one. If you can, probably get new and make sure you wash it. And want some hair bands. No sewing involved with this particular model. I will also have some links in the description below on some other videos with people doing the whole face mask thing. However, let's get started. Alright, so I had actually brought out my Jason mask because I want to do the lower half of the mask on my bandana face mask because, like, obviously I don't have the whole front part. I just have what covers the nose and mouth. But I figure what better model than his actual mask, or at least a replica of it that is pretty darn good. So that's why I brought that out. And of course, there we go. Got this tape off. Now then, hopefully you can actually find some of these. Because after I had seen this thing before, I realized that you cannot find handkerchiefs or even scarves are becoming very, very hard to find because, like, you're not gonna find the surgical masks on the shelves. That's just not gonna happen. And so this is the next best thing, and of course everybody is buying them up now because they can. So I would ask that if you happen to find them, while it may be tempting to buy up all of them, please don't. Please consider other people. Alright, so I'm gonna set those to a side. Those are blank canvases for another day. Oh, look at that. Premium. You even have paper inside. Alrighty, there we go. Alright, so moving this aside for now. And also, according to the instructions on the back of, okay, I think it was the graffiti. Yeah, you want to wash the fabric, pre-wash the fabric before you begin. But before I do that, because that's going to take a while, I wanted to show you how to make the mask in the first place. So, stay tuned for that. Alright, just fold it in thirds like that, and you get your hair bands. Now then, I really like these ones. These ones are much softer, they're easier on your ears. Might need to stretch them out a little bit. And if you can't find hair bands right now, and if the ones that you have currently are just too small, too tight, you can always try wrapping them around a large bottle or something for a while just to try and stretch them out a bit more. because wearing these things for a prolonged period of time is not pleasant. Okay. Once you've got the folds, just bring the hair bands over your ears. There you go. Face mask. Instant. Pretty easy. Wow, I have not had to use something like this, so your breath is gonna warm it up. It can get a little uncomfortably warm. Yeah. So this would work. So if you have to go out in public, it's something to keep you from spreading stuff, unspeakable nasties. However, this isn't me. I gotta do something about this. Now, you just take your blank canvas, and I'm gonna use some of the paper that came with it, just to try and keep things smooth. Just try to prevent any bleed through. I've never used these markers before, so I have no idea how exactly they are going to work. So I want to do the fold. There we are. Now, because I am doing something very specific, I want to make sure that I get these markings lined up with my own cheeks. And of course the vent holes that I'm gonna draw on there. Like, you know, I want it to look as close to this as possible. Okay, overall this looks pretty good, but... Okay, this is a bit different with the paper being there. But I'm trying to see how it's gonna look like, so that way I can mark accordingly and accurately. Okay, this is gonna feel really weird. I put the bands back on. Oh boy, with this stupid paper in here, it does not want to stay on. I just need it on long enough to map out the markings. Okay, hopefully this will actually show up. What I was doing was I was actually using my phone's camera selfie mode as a mirror, and let's see how well that worked. That worked out way better in my head. I was really hoping that the pencil would show up before I started using ink, but I don't think that's gonna work. Oh well, the important thing is that sometimes you just gotta try. So I'm gonna go on to plan B, which you'll know it as soon as I do. Okay, so the pencil, I got it to show up a tad bit better, but I do not think that this was meant for pencil. Okay, well there, now that I know where I actually need the markings, there we go, that's where my nose is. So it's like I tried to just map out the basic markings with my own face, essentially. And then draw it with a pencil first, which will hopefully erase. I'm used to drawing on paper, not on fabric. So this is a very interesting experience. Luckily, it's at least erasing. And then that vent holes. I'm not sure if I did those markings right. Okay, so I just sketched it down on both sides, just depending on which way I put this thing on. So that's why I went about doing it that way. Now, I got some brighter colors for some other things I wanted to do with these two. But mostly once I saw these colors and then saw this, I figured, Jason's hockey mask, done. I really wanted to do that. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be using much of these today, but if I do, I do. If not, they will be in another video. Hold on a sec. Okay. There we go. Nice bold colors. However, just like with any art supply, we gotta swatch these out. Since right now, pocket squares, handkerchiefs, anything like that, those are a precious commodity, I am gonna test them out on paper, just because I'm not gambling with one of these. Those things are almost worth as much as toilet paper. Well, they work, so that's a start. I'm curious if I'll be able to use these two to kind of make an ivory similar to this, because as we all know, Jason's mask isn't technically white, it's more of an ivory, so. And green is a little bit on the spotchy side. See, this is why we swatch. Okay, so overall, I like the colors. They're pretty nice. But I'm gonna test these ones out too, just while I've got it out. Okay. Well, I like the graffiti. However, these ones, I'm quite disappointed that two were obviously really, really dry, and the green was kind of sort of dry. That's unacceptable. But now you know. Anyways, I am gonna get started on the main event. So, while you enjoy the actual drawing part of this video, I know, it took me long enough, I I'd like to share some of my thoughts on what not to do if you need to go out during this great chaos pandemic. One thing that has been driving me up the wall are the sheer numbers of people deciding that the grocery store is the perfect place to bring all the tater tots for some fresh air. But there's a problem. The places that are still open aren't still open because you're bored. They're open because they're a necessity. The malls, theaters, schools, churches, sporting events, and other venues aren't closed for the fun of it. It's a state of emergency, not a vacation. Despite this, people are still coming in, letting their kiddos run around and touch everything, cough without covering their mouths, and just run wild. This is irritating during the best of times. During a pandemic? What has happened to common sense? Please, if you need to go out, leave the tater tots at home if possible. Just get in, get what you need, and get out ASAP. Remember, everyone who walks through the doors of any of these establishments are a potential danger to each other. Minimize your group size, minimize risk to yourself and others. While we're on the subject, don't be a boredom browser. What is a boredom browser, you might ask? I've mentioned boredom browsers in a previous video. What these individuals are people who come into essential businesses for no other purpose than to look around and kill a few hours, having grown bored of Netflix and Hulu. Boredom browsers have zero thoughts about the danger that they are putting themselves or others in, so long as they can just get out of the house for a while. Please don't do this. Is your health, your family's health, or the health of a stranger really worth satisfying your window shopping fix? The answer is no. Don't get angry at the store workers when what you want is out of stock. They don't control the stocking or the shipping schedules. Don't harass the store workers for the shipping schedules. Odds are good that they don't know. The shipments will get there when they get there. Remember, the people working in these places are placing themselves and their families at great risk so that you'll still have access to your toilet paper, top ramen, and chips. They don't deserve abuse during the best of times. Treat them with respect. They're people too. Odds are good that anyone working at these stores would rather not be there. However, they understand that they are a vital part of society. If you simply must come into an establishment with all of your buds, please don't horse around in store. The workers aren't there for your entertainment. Coughing and or sneezing on people or products, even if you're just pretending to, is not at all funny. I don't care if you only wanted your 15 minutes of internet fame or just pissy that all the hand sanitizer is gone. We're in the middle of a serious pandemic. Don't be that person. We all want this to be over so that we can get back to our lives. I miss hanging out with my friends, going to my favorite local haunts, Pokemon Go gatherings, or even just out for a walk without my heart racing if somebody else walks too close to me. I'd like to be able to go into work without thinking, is this the day I bring home a deadly disease to my family? The sooner we stop trying to shoehorn business as usual, the sooner the spread will slow. Let's bring back common sense, people. And don't forget to wash your hands! there you have it. Custom face mask. I'm ready to go out into public if I need to. Just remember, if at all possible, stay home. But sometimes you still gotta get food. You still gotta get body wash, shampoo. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff that you don't realize you miss until you're suddenly out of it. And I understand a face mask, that's something that protects the people around you from what you might unintentionally spread. At least I hope it's unintentional. Sorry, it was getting a little bit warm in there. It's actually kind of warm today. But now you know how to not only hack your own face mask, but I gave you some decoration ideas, so I certainly hope that helps. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This was certainly one of my more interesting videos, kind of arts and crafts combined. Drawing on fabric, that was a unique challenge. I don't recall if I've ever drawn on fabric before, so that was certainly new. That was different. Anyways, that's all the time we have for today. This is Silver Hyena signing off. Stay safe, stay creative, everybody. And leave some toilet paper for the rest of us. Please! We all need it. Okay? Bye!